Well, hello my friends. Alfredaro here, the Rebel Turner. This video is going to be a little discussion of the video that I'm putting up. Last week I had Tom Kuzia over here and we were chatting away and I was giving him a lesson on the droop over bowl. With that lesson, there was a lot of yakking and stuff that was not part of the video. So the video is becoming quite a task for me to edit what belongs and what doesn't. But anyway, with the editing, I saw something that actually I can't help myself. It somewhat bothered me. The fact that I jumped in a lot more. And a lot of times I was given information that it wasn't the matter that Tom didn't know what to do, and sometimes it was a matter that I wanted you guys to be aware and some of the thought process, the tool approach, the methods, the awareness, all those things that I noticed during the edit. I noticed some of it during the turning, but during the edit is really when you get to know exactly how much, what areas that you think that needed to be focused on a little bit more. One thing, very simple, and yet I found that even the holding of a tool can become a subject. Where your placement of your thumb, where your knuckles are, a pinky sticking out, whatever it is, and I noticed that whenever I would tell Tom where he needed to go a little bit with his hand, it was like he wasn't sure exactly what to do. And some of the things were very basic. Now, Tom knows how to turn. He's been turning for about a year, he says. And he's turned, and I should say that last week on the introduction, I said how he does amazing metal work. Yes, he does amazing metal work. As a matter of fact, my plaque that's up underneath my monitor, he did that for me. I got a rose inside the house in the vase that he did out of metal for me, for my wife. So Tom does amazing in metal, but he's also done amazing things on the lathe in wood turning. And the tea kettle I was describing was actually wood. I should have clarified that. So Tom has been turning for about a year. And with that said, even turning for a year, I noticed some very basic things that I hope that you guys can take from it and be aware and say, oh yeah, I have a problem with this, or I have a problem with that. So that's going to be this video. Well, hello my friends. Alfredaro here, the Rebel Turner and Rebel 2. I got Tom Kuzia over here who came down to pay me a visit and to get a hands-on lesson on droop over bowl. Now, Tom does amazing work with metals, and I've seen some amazing stuff that he has done recently that he posted on Facebook. Like a teapot that he did with just amazing, a tea kettle and the saucer and the coffee cup to go with it, and fantastic work. Look him up on Facebook. I know he doesn't do YouTube, not yet anyway. I think this piece might be a piece of eucalyptus. I'm saying that because of the fact that it has no bark and the twist that's on the wood over here. I am going to let Tom do this whole turning. All I'm going to do is cut it to size on the bandsaw, and he will mount it and do the turning. I will try to keep quiet this time and let Tom do his thing, and only when he has a question will I jump in. I promise not to take over. And when doing one of these, what I focus on, or what Tom should be focusing on, is whatever the width of the piece is more or less the length of the piece.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that will keep it fairly close to proportion. You can be a little bit longer, but not by much. So if you got something that's 8 inches, that should end up with 9 inches in length. So we're going to go to the bandsaw, get it started real quick. So, as you can see, it's going to have some beautiful spalting on this piece. Beautiful, beautiful markings. This will make something else later on. Tom, you know that the first thing when doing a droop over bowl is you're going to basically make a round top. And that's all you worry about, and to create a tenon. Okay? Once you have that done, if you're safe, feel comfortable, once you get to the depthness that you need with the round top, then at that time you can either flip it or you can work a little bit aside from the bark area or the outside perimeter of the piece and work on it and start creating a little bit of a foot and maybe even make the secondary tenon. Now, one thing also, even if you get around the piece like this and you want to create somewhat of a more interesting shape, then don't go directly on center.
Oh.
Okay. And you're being filmed, by the way, Tom. So,
oh boy.
Tom is setting up the spur drive inside of my my chuck. Apparently, he's been watching my videos.
Okay. Well, that's touchy, huh?
The higher the speed, the better, but as long as you don't get too much shake.
Alright.
Looks good to me. Just feel it at first. Now what you're doing over there with the cut is fine, and you're going to get to the end, but me personally, I would hold the flute up just a little bit more. I would, you know, again, I can't help myself. I would put it a little bit on an angle
More?
Of where you already working towards. No sense you going close and then far. So I try to work with that.
What I was trying to do is get this a little more squared off for a tenon.
Yeah. Do that because that's going to end up being your tenon over there anyway. So, and you got some punkiness, but I wouldn't worry too much about that because you're going to hollow that out towards the end. It might show up a little bit on the middle, but we'll stabilize it if it becomes an issue. Get just the high spots.
How big of a tenon now?
We can go with the deep jaws, so which is a 3-inch if we go with that route. That should be good. Now you can put that up already, or you can keep playing with it and feather this down a little bit more until you get a little closer to this, and then you can gouge on the outside of this if you want. Being between centers is really a good grip. It's yeah.
So tighten that.
You know, at the point that you are, that you got nice clean cuts. Oh, by the way, I just realized the wood. What this is actually sycamore.
Is it sycamore?
Yeah. I just saw it by the little lines that I got going through here. That's what told me what it was. That's the same wood that's over there, still with some bark. And this came from down the street. But seeing you got a pretty decent cut, and you know you don't have too many waves on it, you know, I'm not shy to go in there and just lightly touch with the scraper. But that's up to you, Tom.
Try it.
I just give you opinion, but not to say it's the only way, because it never is the only way. Now that should have gotten rid of that lip. Now you can see what your
Still a
offset
little
is.
lip there.
No, that's not bad.
No?
That's not bad. Now, yeah, that's actually pretty smooth. So now you got a good picture of what's going on, where your bowl is going to be high, what's going to be low. You're going to have this droop that is a little bit lower. This one over here is a little bit higher. At this time would be the time that I would look at it and say, okay, do I have it too much off balance? Do I have it too heavy on one side? You know, would so this would be a time, and I know that it would involve you turning everything, doing what you did at that point, but if you offset it like this and say, okay, I like this better, but I'm not saying that's what you should do.
No, it would
but
look better.
this
Is too high here.
well, you know, that's a matter of opinion. You know, but you're the one who's creating it. So if you think that it's a little bit off balance, you would go back in here and recut it a little bit, and you will reshape the 10 slightly. It's not that far off, but you know, those are the judgments
You see it goes in
you have
there.
to make. Well, you know, that's, to me, that's what I like. But you know, to you, you might like it more uniform, and this piece could give you a uniform look if that's what you're looking for. Very uniform. So I would turn it like that, and you will be taking it, because I took it exactly opposite,
Yeah.
you'll be taking quite a bit over here,
Yeah.
less over here, and you'll end up pretty much the same length, but you'll balance it off a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Good. You like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at this point, there's still no sense flipping it over because you still got a good grip and you're still safe with all the turning you do. I would just move the tool rest up to the front of it. You know you're going to take some of this bulk out because you can't undermine if your base is as big as the body. Okay, you're not going to be able to get to the angle. So I would start making this a cylinder from here on down. Either make a mental note where the highest you can cut or the lowest. There you go. Try not to put your flute in the direction you're going so much. Try to keep it above, keep it up a little bit. You don't get nearly as much bounce, you don't push as hard, and you're actually using the bottom lip as your cutting edge. Not too much where you're going to get a catch, but just there's that happy medium, about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock you get a much better cut than you do when you bevel it in the direction you're going that much. Because you stop fighting it. You start getting the bounce back off a little bit and just continue with the cut, same good, and come back and start it over again. And you know that you can go straight in because you know that it's going to end up being straight in and undermined. Good. Get that bounce, flute it up a little bit, turn it up a little bit. There you go. Get the mass of the cut to the bottom edge of the tool. But over there, air and wood. That's why you're getting some of that. But so you don't get that, why don't you move yourself back and get rid of this shadow that you see here, which is offset anyway. So, you know, work it down a little bit in the back without going too far, but you'll get rid of this bounce that you get at the end. No, I would move my tail right, tools, oops, sorry. Move it way back here and work it right from here. I wouldn't go any deeper than that because you're going to take it all off. So you can always see the shadow where you're going to be taken off, and that's going to be your tenon right over there. And then at the end, you can still use the same tool in here. You got plenty of room, and make that dovetail a little bit. You'll be a little bit more solid on this side than that side. But good thing, because you're going to hollow all of that out anyway. So this is still a little bit big for this type of a bowl, because you're not going to be able to get the angle. So you need to be somewhere right around here, another ½ inch all the way around, roughly, and you should be good. And over here, since you know that it's going to be undermined, there's no sense you rounding this off this way. So if you turn your body way over to that side, and you go straight in, pushing already underneath, you're already kind of working towards where your goal is. Anyway, I tell you, hold the food up a little bit more. And when you do that, when you are actually making good cuts, you get nice curls. When you're doing this, you're scraping and you're getting shavings. Sawdust, exactly. I'll cut that off on the video.
Don't cut anything. I still have to make this smaller, right?
Right. And you can change the direction of your body so you're working in a comfortable way. I'm just telling you how you're going to be able to get underneath, even to start off with. I don't know if it makes a lot of difference, but I think it does. You coming this way, you're beating directly into end grain all the time. If you're doing it this way, you're making a groove and you're just following that edge, and you're doing almost like spindle. Over there, you're definitely digging into end grain. Over here, for some reason, when you're going in and you create and you're following up the bevel, you are just leading and just gliding across the wood. And you can see that for yourself, how different it is. Same thing you're doing, except instead of starting from here, starting from here. And you'll see the difference. Once you dig in, you just follow. See the what's happening?
Chopping it off.
If you're going from here, that's never going to happen.
Is this the way you're talking about?
Yeah. Stay nice shake. Nice long shake. And dig in. Straighten it out. Carry it over. Look at that. Beautiful. Just for an example, on this last cut you did, you laid down the flute more, and this is what you came up with. The cut before that, you had your flute up a little bit, and this is what you came up with. The difference is you have a better control, and you're smoother when you're laying like this than when you're laying like that. But the cut is very different. As long as you're not coming from outside and trying to cut in, you can do the same thing from here that you're doing there. So if you start shaping up more or less what you think the foot, the leg is going to be, you can work it from there and bring it up to the mushroom area. So wherever you feel more comfortable with, and that's going to give you a much easier cut, and do not work in left-handed. Step your body down. I don't know what's going on with that cut. It doesn't want to go in that direction.
I think it's the wood. It's faulted. You know?
Yeah. And I'm not going to take over. I just want to see what's going on as to why you can't get across this way. And yet you can get ribbons this way. See the difference? It's amazing. It's amazing the direction that you go, what it does.
Why, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Must be the way the tree grew or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. That's amazing, ain't it?
Yeah. Now, one thing on the design when you're working on these, again, not to interrupt, the bottom of your bowl, the belly of your bowl, will not be coming up below this area, or else it's going to look kind of funny. You're not going to get a good visual.
So what you're saying is this should be up inside.
Right.
Can I speed this up?
Okay. Just be more dark when it's speed up like that.
That made a difference.
Doing that, just be extremely careful, because you're catching the whole wing. No, because you're catching the whole wing and you're so upright that if you get a catch, it's going to be really bad. So when you're coming from one plane to another and you're meeting them both, really turn your flute down, because if you approach it in the same aggressiveness, yeah. So when you're coming in, turn it and straight in this direction. You don't want to cut too much on this direction, okay? So be careful when you meet into a valley. When you meet the valley, turn it and Flatten it up. There you go. Okay? Always approach it in that, always treat it in that way. Whether it's coming from the back or the front. And of course be aware of this deep wing. Okay? I wouldn't go too close to that. One catch it, bloop.
I'll be where I was last year.
Yeah. So at this point, you know that this is a little thick. I would start shaping this and bringing it whatever shape you want it to be. You might want it to be wide like this and above, or you might want it to go a little bit shallower. But that's a design preference. But if it's too thick, it might crack on you. So you know that's the thing to keep in mind. Designs you want to do, just think about it. If that's what you want, if you want, you know, multiple step foot, if you want it smooth, if you want.
How about the thickness of this?
It's a little thick. It's a little bit on the thick side. Yeah. I would take that down to about a quarter of an inch on the outside edge, or 3/8 of an inch. Going in that angle, you know, you want it to bevel up, so you want it to start rounding it up inside. He's working up, behind the tool. because I'm nervous, it's not because of what you're doing, and I, you know, don't mind, but use your hand from underneath and keep your thumb out of there. Just show you something? Okay. It makes me nervous when you're like this and your thumb is leaning in the front of it. It makes, you know, and things happen. If I keep my hands crunched like this, not my thumb up in the air, not fingers or even like this. If I keep my hand like this, I use this part and carry it against the tool. That way I know that what I'm doing, I'm never going to make contact. You know, it's never going to make contact. So, you know, I don't worry about if my hand's too close, is my finger sticking out further than where I'm focusing, what I'm focusing on the tip. You know, either that or this way. You know, but keep your hand behind the tool. I mean, it can happen in an instant. Because you're already working shape, so you're not going to be much thinner than that, I don't think. So you're focusing on what shape you're going to end up with. Whether the foot is going to get thinner towards the top or if it's going to stay thick towards the top, it's whatever you decide, but you have to think, okay, that's the design I want.
I still have to take a lot of this out, right?
Exactly, that's why I'm saying concentrate on what's going to be the end shape. Is your foot going to get narrow towards the top, or is your foot going to get and come out from the belly of the top? So you'll never create that shape if you keep going that way. I always try to keep it this as the thickest part and going to a skinnier towards the belly of this. So it's going in towards the top and not the other way around.
Going in this way.
Correct, towards the mushroom. So thicker at the base, thinner at the bottom.